This week, we're relitigating the troubles with Ian Paisley and Martin McGuinness in 2016's The Journey, starring Timothy Spall and Colm Meaney. This is Boy Party. Sir, would you care for a podcast?
Do you have any wee plain ones?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Boy Party, the podcast about movies where two Northern Irish political icons, infamous icons, share a car and battle it out for the future of their nation, their basic ideological principles, and delicious biscuits. This is Boy Party. We're discussing The Journey, the 2016 Timothy Spall and Colm Meaney vehicle, directed by Nick Ham, written by Colin Bateman. My name is Lucian Wadley, and I am joined by my fiercest opponent turned friend, sitting beside me on a completely fabricated 90-minute car ride between a random place in Scotland and Glasgow Airport. It's Shane.
I know you have not clicked on the episode "The Foreigner" again.
It is very
featuring two Northern Irish heroes.
It is peculiar.
Jerry
that
Adams
we've
and
hit,
Jack.
We've hit our second IRA Troubles themed movie in 56 episodes. I mean, it's not that far fetched when you consider that we are naturally inclined to want to discuss Irish stars, and films starring Irish actors are likely to cover this subject matter. So in the case of Pierce Brosnan, we were discussing him and Jackie Chan in The Foreigner, a movie that is basically a high stakes thriller about a covert Chinese operative turned random dad who goes on a killing spree against
his
daughter's killed in an IRA bombing.
Well,
alleged IRA bombing, and he goes on a killing spree against the Jerry Adams-esque Sinn Féin leader, played by Mr. Brosnan. And
I think the bomb is a plant by some other group and blaming the IRA to try and restart.
I think
the
you're
violence.
right. Yeah. Do you remember the name? Remember when they get the guys running to the airport looking for the guy who has the bomb in his briefcase?
Yeah.
Do you remember what name they shout?
No.
I can't either. We started our episode
David Miller.
It's like anyway, it's really funny. So we discussed The Foreigner about a year ago, and we're back discussing The Journey, a far lesser seen film than The Foreigner. This film has very much ceased to exist in the public consciousness. It does not, I don't think, get shown on TV. It's not on Netflix. I just feel like it has fallen through the cracks of like Irish people never really knew about it. Yeah. And international audiences would have no interest in it. So it's just kind of...
I think this kind of exists in the place where even the most absent-minded TV programmers will see this and be like, "Oh, we can't put this on."
It's the perfect combination of controversial and boring, you know? Like, no one's happy if you put on The Journey. You'll either be pissed off at
the amount of complaints that the fucking commissioner,
you're going to piss off. You piss off Republicans, you're going to piss off Unionists, and you're going to piss off people who want to watch a good film because it stinks. So you're basically just creating a nightmare scenario for yourself. But I do think it's interesting to discuss. It is kind of the sort of boy party movie that comes with a meta text, which I always enjoy. If you listen to the show, you'll know that I love when the film itself confronts the notion of which of these guys has the upper hand. Which of these two characters is sort of the bigger personality and dominates the situation in the film. And I think this is like a perfect movie for our podcast in the sense that these two actors are like complete equals, I would argue, in their respective British and Irish film industries. They are these kind of like chubby, non-traditional leading men who broke out in the 90s and are kind of beloved now as character actors, but can still be the lead of a kind of a mid-budget film. And
we'll get work in America.
We'll get work in American films. But also it's like about a situation where two men in real life were fighting for who was first billed and second billed, i.e. First Minister and Deputy First Minister of Northern Ireland, the ultimate boy party billing negotiation.
Boy party, the troubles.
Yeah, like this film is literally about a negotiation for who's going to be first and second on a list. Yeah. So it's a fantastic film to discuss. Unfortunately, no one's listening right now because no one has ever seen the movie The Journey.
I don't think you need to see it.
But I don't think you need to see it.
We will explain.
You need to just get the idea. I mean, would this episode get more listeners if the artwork is just a picture of the real Ian Paisley and Martin McGuinness?
Maybe.
I might just do it to trick people. But I do want to talk about Timothy and Colm in a minute because they're super interesting. But I subjected Shane to watch this a couple of weeks ago. I had seen it before. It's 94 minutes long. It's not too much of a slog, but it drags. Oh man, it's a boring movie. I mean,
have Timothy Spall and Colm Meaney ever played the opposite? Like, has Colm Meaney played English and has Timothy Spall played Irish before?
Colm Meaney has definitely played English. He plays James Corden's dad in the movie One Chance.
Yes.
Has Timothy Spall played Irish? I don't think so. I mean, Timothy Spall and Colm Meaney have worked together in other things.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Timothy Spall has played Irish. He's playing in Northern Irish in this.
Oh, yeah.
Ian Paisley is not English.
Yes.
As much as he might want to be.
Born in Armagh.
He is a proud Ulsterman. But no, I mean, continue what you were saying anyway.
Oh, I was just trying to see, are these the two most incredibly Irish and English possible actors you could pair up?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's two Northern Irish characters, but...
True. It's funny that, there isn't really a Northern Irish actor who could play Ian Paisley, who is well known.
No, I don't think so.
You could wait 20 years or 10 years and Jimmy Nesbitt could probably do it or somebody like that, but otherwise, no, not really. Timothy Spall is like the perfect, like, freaky looking guy in his 60s.
Yeah, and nobody's freakier looking than Ian Paisley.
Yeah. But this film is completely fictitious beyond the first couple of minutes. It's like a made-up story of these guys being tricked into sharing a car journey.
Did they share a car in real life?
No, they just got to know each other from being around.
Okay.
They did basically develop a friendship around this point in history. So the Good Friday Agreement is in late 1990s, obviously, and then there's basically 10 years after that where they're...
This is 2006.
Yes. 10 years after the Good Friday Agreement is when proper divestment to Stormont is sort of organized.
Yeah.
And the English basically fuck off out of there and they let them run the show themselves, somewhat. So Ian Paisley and Martin McGuinness were basically forced to spend a lot more time together in this stretch. And it seems that around 2006, 2007 is when they basically kind of gave up on hating each other and just decided to be pals. And collectively, they were both basically confronting the English at one point and were like, get out of Stormont, let us run things themselves. I think just out of a shared sense of like being sick of being infantilized. I think like the DUP and Sinn Féin were both like of the opinion that like we are adults here, like we can run things ourselves. And 10 years after the Good Friday Agreement, we don't need to be mammied by London.
Is the DUP's stance that they wish to rejoin the...
Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
The DUP and the UUP, I think, both the same as our unionist parties of unionists who would like to be part of the United Kingdom. I mean, they are. I think they're happy now.
Of course, yeah.
I think that they probably would like a little. I think DUP Ian Paisley faction would certainly like a little bit less of a relationship with the Republic of Ireland. I think that, for example, Sinn Féin, an all-Ireland party, and a Republican party being people that they have to share power with is not the best case scenario for them. I think they would much rather Sinn Féin not be there. But I think that they're relatively happy in how Northern Ireland functions and in the fact that it's a separate state and is part of the UK, and that when Brexit happens, Northern Ireland goes with it. And the DUP are kind of just like too extreme for anyone to work with. The UUP were, I mean, I could be wrong here, but I think the UUP were more helpful to the Tories a few years ago, backing them on certain things. But no, I feel like it was Arlene Foster in the DUP. I mean, it's funny. Every like 6 or 7 years, there'll be a DUP leader who like jumps out to me and who I can name. Peter Robinson, Arlene Foster. And I cannot tell you who the leader of the DUP is right now. Like it's some woman in her 40s whose name I just haven't registered. It's like they changed leader like 5 times in 3 or 4 years.
It's currently led by Gavin Robinson.
Oh, there you go.
Who stepped in as interim after resignation of Jeffrey Donaldson.
Okay, so Jeffrey Donaldson is the one who's like a terrible abuser who got outed, basically. Is Mr. Robinson Peter Robinson's son? I don't know.
How'd you know?
Is his name Peter Robinson or Peter Roberts? Peter Robinson. Anyway, look, Northern Irish politics is not my number one area of knowledge, but I will say that Ian Paisley is certainly someone I have a strong sense of my whole life, and a movie in which we are meant to watch the cheeky, chappy antics of 2 men in a car, in which Ian Paisley is one of those men, is like asking me to watch a film called like Paddington and Mussolini.
If you search Jeffrey I misspelled it, but Jeffrey Robertson is a
Right.
Is a American actor known for.
You got the name completely wrong.
I did.
There. Yeah. Okay.
Never
Moving
mind.
along. But anyway, Ian Paisley's like one of the worst people who's ever. Yeah.
Whoops.
Ian Paisley's one of the worst people who's ever lived. I have no qualms in saying that. Just an absolutely despicable, horrible, violent person.
Hyper religious,
horrible conservative. I mean, like, people, we can argue all day, whatever. We have different opinions, all of us here in this country, about people like Mark McGuinness and Gerry Adams and their role in Irish history.
You offer no sympathy to a man who doesn't allow you to have your treats.
But I would say that Ian Paisley, if you take all the Catholic, Protestant, Unionist, Republican stuff out of it, he's just a horrible conservative man. I mean, there's no defense for Ian Paisley. Like, if he was in any country, he'd be seen as a freak. He would be a freak in America. He'd be a freak in the evening. He'd be, like, if he was in the States, he'd be in the Westboro Baptist Church. If he was in England, he'd be in some far-right Christian cult. Like, he's a far-right Christian, evangelical, conservative. So you can put him in a car with Mark McGuinness. You can put him in a car with anyone. He's not going to come out to me looking like a sympathetic character. This film proposes, well, what if he was? Which I don't think is the film committing some great act of evil. I think it's just misguided attempt at a centrist depiction of this relationship, which is just very one-sided to me. Of Martin McGuinness, you can take him or leave him. I'm not going to get too upset at someone who says that they, find him unforgivable, member of the IRA. That's another person's business to feel that way. But he's nowhere near Ian Paisley in terms of the level of vitriol and horrible conservative things he said about every community throughout his life. Not to mention the Catholic Protestant stuff. So.
It is a little bit weird that like the portrayal of the Troubles in media kind of after the fact is stuff like this.
I know, yeah.
And even kind of the images of Martin McGuinness and Ian Paisley themselves, like laughing and having a good time. Yeah. It's like, oh.
Well, they fed into this. And Martin McGuinness is the number one person in the entire world responsible for the image rehabilitation of Ian Paisley.
Sure.
And I suppose that's his business. I mean, he's the person who had to deal with Ian Paisley for so many years. If he chose to forgive Ian Paisley and be friends with him in his later years, that's up to him. I wouldn't be half of the fucking tolerant character that he obviously was.
No, I do think, though, on the other hand, a film of this style does need to be made for every leaders conflict.
Yeah, sure.
Happens. So we do need a Bush and Saddam sharing a car.
We're gonna have Putin Zelensky.
We're
gonna have we're gonna have Netanyahu, and I honestly can't name Hamas leaders by name.
No,
somebody.
Iranian president.
Hitler, Churchill, I guess. Hitler versus Roosevelt, Eisenhower. Obviously, Mary Lou and.
Leah
Radker, yeah.
That would somehow be a significantly more toxic. Car ride.
It's an idea for a film that I would completely tolerate as like a short story.
Yeah.
Like, what if these guys were tricked into taking a car to the airport? I don't need to sit and watch that shit for 90 minutes. So the premise of the film is that Tony Blair and Bertie Ahern engineer this situation by hiring, am I right in saying, an MI5 agent?
I think so.
Played by Freddie Highmore from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Bates Motel.
The Good Doctor.
And the Good Doctor. I am a doctor. I'm a surgeon. I'm a surgeon.
I am a doctor, Mr. McGuinness.
Yes. To pose as a chauffeur to drive McGuinness and Paisley to the airport.
Because Ian Paisley is going to miss his wedding anniversary.
Yeah, and I don't know why Martin McGuinness needs to go in the car, but he does. He initiates this as well. So they basically set them up to be in the car together, and Ian Paisley is like, I don't care who's in my car.
I think the rationale that was given, like, kind of in a bit of a tongue-in-cheek way, is that if both of them are on the same airplane, the airplane won't get shot down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That them traveling together is like a really good way of avoiding terrorism.
We have our protocols.
Yeah, it's a bit of a designated survivor type situation.
Bit,
See, there was no designated survivor for the inauguration. They just didn't do one. Like, oh my god, missed opportunity. So they basically then are stuck in a car, and the third person in the car is Freddie Highmore. Yeah. And then back at HQ, you've got Tony Blair, played by Toby Stevens, who does a very good Tony Blair.
It's good.
He's the villain in Die Another Day.
It's a bit of a caricature.
Yeah, but he's like, hey, well, yes, that's fantastic. And he's doing things with his hands and his eyebrows. It's brilliant. And then you've got Ian Beatty as Gerry Adams, who is
bad performance.
It's
a bad Gerry Adams.
Like, Pierce Brosnan is so much better in The Foreigner. And who plays Gerry Adams in The Say Nothing? I don't know, younger guy.
Young guy is pretty good.
Michael Colgan, I think is his name.
Yeah, he's good.
And then you have Mary Lou McDonald is in this film. I didn't pick up on that.
Someone plays her.
Christy Robinson as Mary Lou McDonald.
Oh, very good.
She must just be like a woman at the scenes.
table. Like, yeah.
And then Bertie Ahern's actually not on the cast
credited.
on Wikipedia.
Oh, weird.
No, I'm sure he's credited. Give me a sec. And then as Ian Paisley Jr., one of our favorites. Barry Ward.
Oh, Barry Ward.
Who is far too fucking handsome to be playing Ian Paisley Jr. Ian Paisley Jr., who, to be fair now to Ian Paisley Jr., doesn't look half as crazy as his father. Has a relatively normal face. His father is like the ugliest man who's ever lived. I think Timothy Spall in this film, like with all the horrific makeup, doesn't even come close to being as ugly as the real guy.
Ian Paisley is kind of the closest thing to like the Barn and Dune you can get in real life.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Bertie Ahern played by a guy called Mark Lambert.
Okay,
and then the guy who plays Bertie Ahern in this. Sorry, one sec. I need to confirm whether this is a true piece of information. The guy who plays Bertie Ahern in this is in Bob Fosse's 1972 film Cabaret. What the fuck?
What?
How? Who does he play in Cabaret? Anyway, I'm gonna keep talking for a minute. That's completely insane. And then finally, as the character whose name is Harry Patterson.
There's another Mark Lambert.
Oh.
Born in 1952, that's an American musical theater actor and singer.
Oh, have their Wikipedias been merged
and
into
then
one?
there's Mark Lambert bracket American actor and Mark Lambert bracket Irish actor.
Their Wikipedias have been merged into one. Mark Lambert, Hitler Youth singer, uncredited. Oh, it could be him though. This guy is in stuff like within 5 years of that. Oh, it's all American. No, I think
this other guy's in Champions, Veronica Gear, and Breakfast on Pluto.
I think IMDb has merged the pages.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate. Well, anyway, John Hurt's in this, the Elephant Man himself, and this is the year before John Hurt dies. Because I'll always remember when John Hurt died because I was watching Jackie and I thought, is John Hurt dead? And then John Hurt died about an hour later. So I willed it to be, it's my fault. But he's in this, one of his last films. Is John Hurt one of the greatest British actors ever? Glad that he spent some of his last living time making The Journey.
No, I think he is the worst performance in this film.
He's so bad in this.
Like, really
He's
bad.
really bad.
Sorry, the character is absolute dog shit.
Oh,
they
my
seem
God.
to cut to him in a room explaining to everyone else what is happening in the car.
So the guys will be in the car and Martin will be like, I can't really do the voices, guys. Forgive me now for my bad northern accent. Ian, do you like watching television? And Ian goes, I never watch television. It rots. It's a sin. It's a sin. And Freddie Highmore is like on his walkie-talkie.
I like television.
Yeah, yeah. Television is good. What's your favorite show?
I like The Good Doctor.
And then it cuts to John Hurt at fucking mission headquarters being like, they're talking about television. Get more information out of them. And there's cameras in the car that they have up on these giant screens. Like,
but
they work for the IMF.
A good 2 minutes of him being like, television is a way in which we can get these two men to connect.
This is how we will end the violence. And this is like very stupid and ahistorical because this is 10 years after the Troubles ended. Yeah. This is the mid-2000s. Like, the Good Friday Agreement happened years before this, but this film would make you think as an American or British person that the Good Friday Agreement happened this weekend that this film is set. Yeah. I think it's very misleading. John Hurt's terrible.
Just truly one of the most needless characters, the most needless exhibition.
Awful.
It's an incredibly simple film.
Oh, it's for a movie for babies.
Like, as I said, it's an adaptation of a children's picture book.
Exactly. Just like two men who don't like each other become friends. Mr. Happy and Mr. Angry.
Michael and Ian go to the airport.
Yeah, they could literally be about any old men anywhere in the world. So my favorite bit of dialogue,
the fucking Mr. Men.
Yeah, exactly. The only bit of dialogue I remember is when Freddie Highmore goes, "Oh, I recognize you fellows from the television. I had Samuel L. Jackson in my car once." And Ian Paisley goes, "I am not familiar with Samuel L. Jackson." And Martin McGuinness goes, "Oh, Ian, you must be. He's in lots of films. Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown." What's the third one he names? I don't know. I can't remember. But I'm interested in the fact that Jackie Brown is McGuinness's second pull for Sam Jackson. To me, that is real screenwriter bullshit. I don't think that Martin McGuinness... We discussed this at the time. I don't think Martin McGuinness is saying Jackie Brown. Martin McGuinness is like... He's in Pulp Fiction, and then he's like, Die Hard 3? Star Wars? I don't know. I don't think Martin McGuinness is like Jackie Brown on the edge of his brain, but that's like a cinephile answer. That's not a Martin McGuinness answer. Maybe Martin McGuinness was a secret
director.
cinephile.
It's the next one.
Yeah.
Maybe Jackie Brown was what was he in his
Who? McGuinness?
40s in the 90s?
50s? Yeah.
50s? He was going to cinema to see Jackie Brown.
40s, yeah. Yeah, maybe. So anyway, Ian Paisley has not heard of Samuel L. Jackson.
Sure.
If Ian Paisley was familiar with Samuel L. Jackson, he probably wouldn't like him because he probably was racist.
Sure.
The film basically just continues. They exit the car and they get lost in the woods. And Freddie Highmore drives away on them, or does he drive away, or does he just go like, "I'm sorry, the car has broken down"?
Yeah, and the two boys go for a wander in the woods, and they come across an injured deer.
It's so stupid. And their shared empathy and humanity brings them together.
They're like, "Put it out of its misery," and then Martin McGuinness refuses, begins to drop a rock on his head, and then doesn't.
It's a real metaphor for the horrors of the troubles.
Putting the guns down, and just letting the fucking deer suffer and die.
Deer. Yeah. Oh my god. And then they end up at the airport, and then they end up getting on a plane. And then there's like 1 minute of them on the plane, and you're like, why didn't they get on the plane like 20 minutes ago to shake up the setting?
Like if this is going to be fiction, you could have like the plane attempts to get shot down.
Yeah, you could try some crazy stuff. I don't think the budget would allow for too much action. But like they spend about an hour and 10 minutes in the car.
Yeah.
They spend 10 minutes in the woods, and they spend 2 minutes on the plane. I don't understand why the plane stuff couldn't have been expanded to 20 minutes.
They didn't have cameras on the plane.
Yes, the guys couldn't watch them on
the
plane.
They also go for a wander into a church for some reason.
They do go into a church. Okay, so
we were kind of fully checked out.
Yeah, there's 5 locations. All right, great film. We love it. Directed by a guy called Nick Ham with 2 M's, who I'm sure was
brother of John Hamm.
Brother of John Hamm. He's Northern Irish. He also made a movie called Driven, which is a Jason Sudeikis, Corey Stoll, and Judy Greer 1970s FBI cocaine heist movie.
Okay.
What the? With Corey Stoll, Justin Bartha. What the? Judy Greer. What the fuck?
That's one for your.
I don't understand why he.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever. I don't understand why he made that.
Too nerdle.
And then this guy works. And then in 2022 he made a movie called Gigi and Nate about a monkey. And then in 2024 he made this William Tell epic Swiss movie with Claes Bang and Rafe Spall and Jonathan Pryce and Ben Kingsley, which is like a big budget movie, a Swiss, Italian, UK co-production. Anyway, so he works he's a real filmmaker. So yeah, you can't think of anything else to say about this film. Oh, sorry, he also made Killing Bono.
Oh yes,
and The Hole with Thora Birch and Keira Knightley, and he made a movie called God's End with Robert De Niro and Greg Kinnear. Jesus. Okay. You got loads of connections. Great. I see how this got made then. I see how it got financed. So Ian Paisley, played in this by Timothy Spall. Timothy Spall, truly, no doubt, one of my favorite living actors. A man who went from looking 45 to looking 80 overnight. He did have health issues, which is the reason this happened. And interesting. In 1996, he was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. Now, I'm confused as to how this happened in the 90s, because in about 2008, I'm going to say, maybe a little bit later, he went from being a chubby, round-faced man to being an incredibly gaunt, skinny man. Maybe a few years after that. And in 2000 it's later, because, Mr. Turner is 2 years before The Journey, and he's chubby in Mr. Turner, and he's incredibly skinny in The Journey. So
you think he's skinny in The Journey?
He compared to how he looks in Mr. Turner.
Okay, yeah.
Look up pictures of him there.
Oh.
He completely changed his look in about 2 years as I assume a health weight loss thing. And he's got a really interesting look now. But it's just crazy to me that he's basically a completely different physical actor, visual actor now to who he was 15 years ago. Because he's just playing completely different types of characters basically as a result of his image changing so dramatically. The only person I would compare to him almost is Jonah Hill.
He
pivot,
has gotten quite thin. And,
yeah. So he looks a lot older now than he used to. But it's interesting because it's opened up sort of a new era of roles for him. But I mean, he's been one of my favorite actors since I was very young. I saw him in a series of unfortunate events where he plays Mr. Poe, the stupid lawyer who Count Olaf constantly is able to wrestle the children away from the care of. And he's so brilliant in that. And I was like, this guy has got the juice. And I've loved him ever since. He's obviously worked with Mike Leigh a bunch of times in 6 Mike Leigh movies, in which he's amazing in all the ones I've seen. So he's in Life is Sweet, Secrets and Lies, Topsy-Turvy, All or Nothing, Mr. Turner. And in most of those, he plays like working class father who isn't good at expressing himself. But in Mr. Turner, this is just the role every actor is like would kill for. This is a epic 2.5-hour biopic of JMW Turner, my favorite British artist, the incredible painter whose focal point was basically giant cool boats. And Timothy Spall plays him as this sort of grunting truffle pig of a man whose whole personality is basically flipping between kind of snorting and going like yes, and then painting the most beautiful artworks you've ever seen, and
he does a funny little mouth where he pouts.
Such a funny little mouth. Pouts. This film has like a couple of really graphic sex scenes in it, and Timothy Spall just fucking plays the hell out of it. Like, he plays this guy with his full force of his physicality, where you're like, this is a guy who is so unconventional as the lead of a 2.5-hour film, and I am completely obsessed with watching him. I can't take my eyes off him, and Timothy Spall is completely conveying to me that this guy was a genius, an artist, a poet, and a beautiful painter. Wonderful film. Great performance. Everyone go check it out.
If you look up Mr. Turner on Google Images, you get every second image is Timothy Spall as Mr. Turner and also the dad from Fairly Odd Parents. Which
that is Mr. Turner. Very good. That's great. And Mr. Turner, in any other actor's career, Mr. Turner would be an instant Oscar. That would be, you have been brilliant for decades. We all love you. We're going to give you an Oscar for Mr. Turner.
It wasn't even unknown. It meant
did
30
really
million.
well. He got a BAFTA nomination. It did well. He won the Cannes Best Actor Award. No Oscar nomination. No. Disgrace. The Oscars have had an issue with Mike Leigh for years. They didn't nominate Hard Truths this year. They didn't nominate Marianne Jean-Baptiste. And it's just an awful shame because Timothy Spall is now, a 0-time Oscar nominee, despite being, I think, one of the best British actors of his generation. It's unbelievable. Now, sorry, I actually mentioned his son, Rafe Spall, a few minutes ago without acknowledging that it's his son. Rafe Spall, who's in the William Tell film that Nick Ham made, is his son. And Rafe Spall is quite a well-known actor and is Timothy Spall's son. So he's got a legacy in the form of his son. But other Timothy Spall roles that I'm very fond of. He's just great in a couple of Dickens adaptations, and he got a British BAFTA nomination for a version of Our Mutual Friend. And he is brilliant in so many like weird tiny roles. Like he's in Vanilla Sky. He's in Enchanted as the like chipmunk who becomes a guy, and he's really, really funny in that. And he plays Churchill in King's Speech. He is in the movie Upside Down with Kirsten Dunst, which we must get around to watching. Yeah. And he's in Harry Potter, which is unfortunately probably like the number one thing that'll be in his obituary if things don't go well.
And if you probably look at his letterbox, it's probably 4 Harry Potters at the top.
But and he is only in 3 or 4, so at least it's not the full run. But whatever. I feel like being in Harry Potter, if you're Timothy Spall, I don't think he's like such a big part of the Harry Potter movies that he can't break the type it's set for him.
Yeah.
And I also think that, the fact he looks completely different now certainly helps. But also,
his son looks significantly more like Ray Fiennes than he does.
He does look something like him. I know, it's funny. He's so good in Harry Potter, and he pops so much in the couple of scenes he's in that I do think it helped his career more than it hurt it, which is good. So he plays Peter Pettigrew, who is a rat who turns into a guy, very similar to Enchanted. He's a rat who turns into a guy, and Timothy Spall just plays him as like a rat person.
Timothy Spall is a mousy person.
He's a mousy person. So he plays Peter as this like, oh yes, oh your lordship, and he's in
he's got the teeth.
He's in like the 3rd one, the 4th one, the 5th one. I guess he's in like this first scene of Deathly Hallows 1. Most of his scenes are like in the house at the end of Prisoner of Azkaban with Gary Oldman, David Thewlis, and him. It's just a great bunch of actors. Those are Mike Leigh guys. So the bits of Harry Potter he's in are the best bits of Harry Potter, luckily. He plays David Irving in the movie Denial, which really feels like a trend. It's like, and that is the same year as The Journey. What a weird decision to, in the same year, play Ian Paisley and Holocaust denier David Irving. 2 famous, bigoted pieces of shit.
It's the same preparation. For both roles. Same preparation. 2 birds with one stone.
2 awful characters. But anyway,
is he a method actor? Maybe it was just
I don't know. Yeah, he had a big star vehicle a couple of years ago that was called The Last Bus, which is about an old man who takes a bus.
Shout out to 46A.
Yeah, it really wasn't very good. I was to scatter his wife's ashes, due date. I was really excited for it because I was like, Timothy Spall, lead role, yes. And then it wasn't very good.
Have we done due date yet?
We recorded it. Yeah, we did. It came out last week.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. As in,
sorry.
from when they're listening. And then he does loads of great TV work, and he played Fungus the Bogeyman, of course. Everyone loves Fungus the Bogeyman. And then he was in the show The Sixth Commandment, where he got to have like kissing scenes with Aina Hardwick. Lucky Aina Hardwick.
He should have been cast as the villain in Bank of Dave too.
He should be the villain in everything. Yeah. But Sixth Commandment's a good show where he basically plays an old vicar who gets seduced by a young creepy gay guy, Aina Hardwick, and then gets murdered, and Aina Hardwick basically takes over his congregation. But a really fun use of Timothy Spall. Yeah, he's in Grand Theft Auto, Vice City Stories as Barry Micklethwait. I don't understand why.
That's the funniest cast.
And he constantly does stage work and has a great stage career. So that's Timothy Spall. A movie star in the loosest of terms, but in my opinion, a guy who can pull people in for the right project. He's technically a SAG winner, Best Ensemble for The King's Speech. I mean, that's a technicality if ever there was one, but I'll take it. Who
does he play in The King's Speech?
He plays Churchill. I just said.
Oh,
he's in like 2 scenes.
Sorry.
And he won.
He like shakes his hand going in the door.
Yeah. And he won his first. He won his first. He has 1 BAFTA and 1 Emmy, and they're both for The Sixth Commandment, which he's only in 1 episode of. Amazing that he's in the last 2 years. There's obviously been a bit of a like, fuck, we should probably give this guy some awards.
Yeah.
But he's a lot younger than he looks. He is only 67. So I think he's got another.
Is he same age as like Pierce Brosnan?
Probably younger. I think Pierce Brosnan's 70. Like he's younger than a lot of guys who look.
He's younger than
a lot younger. Yeah. I think I would say that Jeffrey Rush is older than him. Kevin Costner. Anyway, that's Timothy Spall. Colm Meaney. Interesting in a similar career, and I would say Colm Meaney, you can sort of swap out Harry Potter for Star Trek, which is his kind of like genre thing. Yeah. Star Trek's very different because only about 10% as many people have watched Star Trek as have watched Harry Potter. But that is his like genre thing that if he rocked up to a sci-fi convention and charged €100 for autographs, he could do so, which is a handy kind of like thing to have in your back pocket. But luckily, work has always gone well for him. He won Best Actor at the Irish Film and Television Awards in 2017 for playing Martin McGuinness in this film.
Oh, wow.
I don't know who gives out those awards at all. I don't know anything about that organization, but I think that's a perfectly valid win. Do you want to know who he was up against that year? That's 2017.
2017. It's probably, was there a Michael Fassbender in there somewhere?
There's always a Michael Fassbender. You think Michael Fassbender got nominated for Assassin's Creed? That'd be pretty cool if he did.
Yeah, he probably would.
That'd be pretty cool if he did. All right, let's try and find out. So, he wins Best Actor. He beat Michael Fassbender in The Light Between Oceans.
Okay.
Alex Murphy in the original film of The Young Offenders. Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Jamie Dornan in The Siege of Jadotville.
Yep.
And Mark O'Halloran in History's Future, a film I have never heard of.
Sure.
Now, I am seeing here that Chris Wally was submitted as a supporting actor for The Young Offenders, and I would like to argue that they are co-leads and that isn't fair.
Have you seen the film?
The Young Offenders?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think that they're co-leads at that.
Yeah.
I would also argue...
It's not called The Young Offender.
Michael Fassbender should have been nominated for Trespass Against Us that year because I see that Brendan Gleeson was in supporting, and Fassbender's really good in that. We're going to cover that in the show at some point.
Young Fassbender.
But anyway, Colm Meaney is still like a fucking massive beloved icon in this country. And I think beyond. I mean, in the last couple of years, I've been doing a lot of research into him for undisclosed work reasons recently. He's still in like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof on the West End with Sienna Miller and Jack O'Connell. Like he still gets loads of really cool roles on stage as well as in film and TV. Obviously, in this country, most beloved for his roles in The Van and The Snapper, and to a lesser extent, The Commitments, just because he's in it a bit less.
Intermission, of course.
And Intermission, which is sort of an extension of those. And those are these like massive totemic Dublin working class community films, and he plays like the dad. So he is kind of Ireland's dad because he's the dad with the chip van who's drinking pints with Brendan O'Carroll in the pub. And in Intermission, he plays the most insane twist on that type of guy who is a guard who is now a subject of a reality TV show.
Yeah, but he's really playing it up. He loves like pretending to be on like Hawaii 5-0 or whatever.
Yeah. He's like obsessed with American police aesthetics.
Watch me here, I'm going to get this bastard.
So the like one of the best scenes in Intermission, he basically bursts into that actor who passed away, whose name I can never remember, unfortunately. He bursts into his house and he's a drug dealer.
Yeah.
And he's like got his camera crew with him, and he keeps like turning to the camera and being like,
look at this guy.
Look at this guy. And he's so good. And then he ends up basically in a field with Colin Farrell and gets shot.
I think
and
so.
Killed? Who shoots who? He gets shot, right?
Farrell shoots him.
Farrell shoots him at the end of the film after basically a botched kidnapping that Farrell. We did a whole episode on it.
Yeah, go listen to the episode.
Yeah, great film. So Colm Meaney's Irish work is well regarded and well noted. But he has just an insane Hollywood career that just sees him working with basically everybody. So he's in Die Hard 2 as the pilot of the plane that John McClane is preventing from taking off. He's in The Last of the Mohicans as Major Ambrose with Daniel Day-Lewis, the Michael Mann movie. He's in Far and Away, which is at least an Irish set film with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. He is in Con Air as John Cusack's cop partner, and he's in Law Abiding Citizen as Jamie Foxx's cop partner, and he keeps getting cast as like, because he just looks like he could be a guy who lives in Dublin or a guy who could be a third generation New York police officer.
Yeah.
So you can put him in an American project as a cop, and it seems totally fine. And he's in Layer Cake as like English Anglo-Irish mobster guy that Daniel Craig and Michael Gambon's gang are up against. Speaks Irish. Brilliant performance in Tom Collins' movie Kings, where he's the lead and he speaks Irish the whole thing, and he's great in it.
Yeah.
He speaks Irish this year in the movie Bring Them Down, where he plays Christopher Abbott's dad. Such funny casting. But he speaks Irish in like every scene, and he's really good in that film. And then he's in
is he an advocate for the Irish language?
He is. He's a Sinn Féin supporter. This is what's interesting about this film. Colm Meaney, very outspoken, left-wing Sinn Féin supporter. So like they cast a guy as Martin McGuinness who sees Martin McGuinness as the hero of the film.
Yeah.
Which I think is the one thing that maybe makes this film tolerable, is that at least Meaney's performance
he's not being
is committed.
Yeah. He's not.
He's trying to give the best possible representation of Martin McGuinness.
Yeah, he's not winking at the camera being like, look at these.
No, and I think that's the one thing this film has, is that it does present Martin McGuinness in a somewhat dignified way.
And Timothy Spall, of course, a big Ian Paisley fan.
Yeah, God knows what Timothy Spall thinks. I would imagine, given his relationship with Mike Lee, that Timothy Spall is a left-wing Labour voting guy. To what degree? He could be more of an Eddie Marzin type, or he could be more proper left-wing. It's hard to know.
Is he in any Ken Loach films?
No one's in Ken Loach films. Ken Loach doesn't want a BAFTA-winning actor. That's not his shtick. But anyway, he's in Get Him to the Greek. I don't remember who he plays. I think he plays Russell Brand's dad. God, he's played fathers of all the cursed people. James Corden, Russell Brand, the works.
It's a real kiss of death.
Alan Partridge. He plays a villain in Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa. Yeah. He does a voice in the movie Freebirds, the turkey movie with Owen Wilson and Woody Harrelson. Do you want to guess the tagline of that film? It's massive on the poster. You'll like this one. It's about turkeys, chickens being slaughtered for Thanksgiving. You're not going to get it.
It's something gobble related.
Hang on to your nuggets. It's pretty good.
Who the fuck eats turkey nuggets?
I like hang on to your nuggets. He's in the movie.
Give me some turkey nuggets.
He's in the movie Pixie in 2020, where he gets to have a gunfight in a church with Alec Baldwin.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Is that the one Anya Taylor-Joy's in?
No. Olivia Cook, the other thoroughbred.
Yeah.
And he's in a movie called 3 Day Millionaire that is like real Bank of Dave vibes. Like the poster is almost exactly the same. And you could cast him in a Bank of Dave.
100%. Is Rory Kinnear the Irish Colm Meaney?
He's a younger generation, you know. But Rory Kinnear definitely for me is in the litany of Timothy Spall. Yeah. He's a less dynamic actor, but just another like English guy where I'm
like Rory Kinnear's not doing Mr. Turner.
He's not doing anything like that. But I'm like, okay, Rory Kinnear, like I'm getting something good when you show up. And also people will just put him in anything. Like Timothy Spall and Rory Kinnear, both guys who are very famous, but can also just pop up in a show 3 episodes in. You're like, oh, didn't know he was in this.
Yeah.
Which is like the best kind of actor. It's the Shea Wiggum effect. It's
sure.
Just, you're like, oh great, I didn't know you were in this. They didn't put you in the marketing.
And like they're never commercially successful enough to get out of that habit.
Never. Oh, it's great. I love guys who are just like slightly not too famous to be in the marketing. And of course, Colm Meaney was in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia as like Charlie's uncle or something.
I guess so.
In 2021. So great career. I've had pleasant interactions with him in the past. A very nice man and someone I'm doing a lot of stuff to do with in work at the moment. So I'm sure you'll hear more. But
do you think Colm Meaney appears on the the international equivalent of Boy Party. If we're not making this from Ireland, does Colm make it onto an episode?
This movie's not making it onto the international version of Boy Party. But it's nice, I think, that we're able to put an Irish slant.
We have a bit of a twist.
When we were doing our Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller podcast, there was no opportunity to be openly Irish. Whereas we have, in our first 55 episodes, covered Intermission, The Foreigner, and The Journey. Yeah. And we're going to do...
I think we've done more.
Trespass Against Us. No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
But I think it's nice to be able to do Irish films because I work in a job where I spend a lot of time thinking about these actors. So I have it all floating around in my brain. Anything else to say about this movie before I hope? I don't think so.
You don't need to watch it.
No, you don't need to watch it.
It's ridiculous and quite bad.
You've heard everything about it here. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Go watch something better. Go watch a good film about the Troubles.
Go watch read a book.
The Crying Game, or there's better than The Crying Game. I'm trying to think, what's like a really good film about the Troubles? Hunger. Go watch Hunger.
Yeah, go watch
Kneecap.
Go watch Say Nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Kneecap.
Sure. Kneecap. Okay.
Pull up the box office for me there, Shane. This film, budget undisclosed. How much are the boys getting paid for this now? I wonder. I'd love
$200,000 each.
Oh, sorry. We have to assess the billing situation.
Oh, yeah.
I think Timothy Spall first billed, Colm Meaney second billed.
I think that's correct.
In the credits.
Probably.
Yes, they're on two separate title cards. Timothy Spall first, then Colm Meaney. The poster is... The top half's Timothy Spall. The bottom half is Colm Meaney. It says Timothy Spall as Ian Paisley, Colm Meaney as Martin McGuinness. I think the poster is fine. It's harmless. It's like probably a poster I would have come up with if I was tasked with making a poster for this movie that is mostly set in a car. So don't know what the budget is on this one. I'd say they probably got about the same to be in it. It is released, well, I don't know if it was ever released per se. It premiered at the Venice Film Festival on my birthday, my 19th birthday, 7th September 2016. Do you remember what me and you were doing that day? Sitting in the NUIG bar.
Oh, God.
No, we didn't.
We go to like a silent disco
not that
in
day.
the bar.
No, we did nothing that day. We just went and sat in the bar for an hour and then I went home. Watched the first episode of Atlanta.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what the worldwide box office figure for this is?
I'm looking at it here. I think it's $471,000.
$471,000.
That's exactly what I'd expect. I mean, this film probably only cost. Oh, I don't know. This has John Hurt in it.
This is like
$4 million, 4 or 5 million. Yeah, it does have like multiple famous actors.
Would it have the budget figures on?
No, it doesn't matter. Just get me that opening weekend. That sweet opening weekend. So it was distributed by IFC in the States. Ooh. So a real distributor, sort of.
Okay, we got 2017. This came out.
Oh, okay. When did it actually get released then?
June 16th.
June 2017. All right, interesting. Okay. All right, so we're looking at the U.S. box office.
Yeah, this debuted at we're looking at
June 2017.
Weekend domestic chart.
Sure. Yep.
Sure.
June
Fine.
2017.
It's opened at number 40.
All right, of course. Yeah, of course. It would have been on like 2 cinemas.
I thought that was higher than I would have thought.
All right, I'm going to guess that number 1 is Wonder Woman.
Incorrect.
Oh, okay. Number 1.
Wonder Woman was out for 3 weeks at this point.
Is the number 1 animated?
Yeah.
Is it The Secret Life of Pets 2?
It is not Secret Life of Pets 2.
Is it Despicable Me 3?
No.
Oh God! Is it Pixar? Is it?
I'm not getting any hints.
2017. I am blanking on what Pixar had out in 20. Oh, they had Coco was out, but that was an autumn. No, that was an autumn release. What else was out in 2017? So it's animated.
Yes.
And interesting. I'm going to need a clue there. So it's not Despicable. It's not Pixar. It's not Secret Life of Pets. But it's number 1 at the box office.
It is a sequel.
It is a sequel. It's a number. Is there a number 2 in the name?
No.
Okay. Jesus.
It's more than a second. It's not a second.
It's not a second. God, I'm struggling here. Oh, Cars 3. The one with the crazy poster where he's like about to crash, flipping upside down.
Yes.
Cars 3.
They're really, really upsetting.
So it was a Pixar. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a film I have never had any intention of watching and have never seen. So let's move along. Armie Hammer's second best film of 2017.
Wonder Woman is number 2.
Yeah. Like a perfectly fine film.
Now, next one is a film I haven't heard of.
Oh, interesting. Can you read me out the tagline or something? I'd like to hear a clue there.
Oh, this.
Or have I reviewed it?
Looks like. No, you definitely haven't seen this.
Okay.
Is
this a comedy with an all-black cast?
No, this.
That's often a good guess when I haven't seen it.
It's not a comedy with an all-black cast. It's something else.
It's a film with an all-black cast.
It's seemingly a biopic with an all-black cast.
Directed
by Benny Boom.
Made up person. Is it a biopic of someone I would have heard of?
Yeah, you've heard of them, but you don't have any particular interest.
Is it a band?
No.
It's about one person.
Music. It's about a musician.
It's about one person.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin?
No.
Nina Simone?
Nope.
A man? Oh God,
Yeah.
I don't know.
About a man.
Tell me what it is.
It's All Eyes on Me about Tupac Shakur.
Tupac. Who plays Tupac?
Demetrius Shipp Jr.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. All right, okay, moving along. I'm sorry
on.
to Tupac heads. I don't know anything.
Sorry,
about
I was getting confused here because someone plays Jada Pinkett Smith. I was like, Jada Pinkett Smith?
Oh, she's a character in it.
She's a character.
Oh, that's funny. I like when an actor is a character in a film.
Yes, and she is played by Kat Graham. I don't know
Yeah, I
if
know
you
who
remember
that is. All right, I'm sure that is a serviceable biopic of Tupac.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, open to 26 million.
That's good. That's really good.
That's very good. First weekend Lionsgate film.
Great.
Number 4. Let's see if I can pull a review up for this one because this is a famously bad film.
Okay, June 2017.
Yeah,
Famously bad. I know what this is. This is a little film called The Mummy.
This is 1 stars across the board from everyone I follow on Letterboxd.
It's The Mummy.
It's The Mummy.
It's an what's the word I'm looking for? An indefensible film. Truly nothing good about it at all.
This movie sucks.
Yeah, it's so bad.
4Cs, 4Ks. I forgot how stupid it is. You rewatched this.
Yeah, I rewatched it with you when you were
did.
sick.
Oh, yeah.
It's so bad. Yeah,
I give this 1.5 stars.
Oh, The Mummy stinks.
Jesus.
Nothing good about it. The only good thing about it is the Dark Universe meme that it has spawned for like 9 years.
And you know what? Made 57.
Yeah, I mean, you'd fucking want to make $57 million. It cost about $300. the end of Alex Kurtzman's career as a director.
Look, if you're making that, then
yeah, you deserve never to work again.
Right. Next up, seemingly we have two ladies in a kind of a somewhat. Yeah, this is like
A Simple Favor.
No, this is like is the Tower or the Fall?
What are you
Where the
talking
two girls climb the tower. And
Fall.
Fall.
It's like that.
This is like Fall, but the opposite.
So they're underwater.
Yeah.
It's not The Shallows.
No.
It's not underwater.
No. It's got a clunky title.
It's not As Above, So Below.
47 meters down.
I never would have gotten that.
No.
That's such a random title.
This is Mandy Moore and Claire Holt.
I don't know who Claire Holt
And
is.
Matthew Modine's in there for some reason.
My buddy.
Your buddy.
My elevator friend.
Your elevator.
Yeah, I don't like Mandy Moore. No interest in that, I'm afraid.
Next up.
Okay, do one more.
Big Disney sequel.
Maleficent, Mistress of Evil?
Nope.
Fuck.
I think we saw this in cinema together.
Oh. Pirates of the Caribbean, Devon Telling Tales.
Yeah.
Salazar's Revenge.
Salazar's Revenge.
Yeah. I mean, look, I probably there's probably a 4-star rating on Letterboxd from me for that, but like, I ain't watching that shit again.
Sure. We got a lot of like sequels. This
is my impression of Javier Bardem in Salazar's Revenge. Jack Sparrow. That's how he talks in that. He's got seashells all over his face.
Oh,
no,
God.
he doesn't. He's like made of seaweed. He's like a seaweed guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's pretty good. That's cool.
Fungus the Boogeyman.
The VFX. Yeah, Fungus the Boogeyman. The VFX in Pirates of the Caribbean, even in the 5th one, are like just the peak of VFX. Just incredible. Do you want to do one more? Anything else
we'll do
fun
one
in there?
more because it's a girl boy party. It's a girl party.
Okay.
It's a girl boy party.
Rough Night?
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's not really a girl boy party.
Is it not? It's
Scarlett and then a bunch of kind of mid-level Jillian Bell,
Zoe Kravitz, Kate
no.
McGinnon.
Sorry,
sure.
that's not a boy party.
Demi Moore is in there. Moore.
Fair play to
Ty Burrell is in there.
Academy Award winner Ty Burrell.
Yeah.
I do pride myself on being a Ty Burrell completist, so I'll have to watch Rough Night. He is in all the classics.
A lot of random...
National Treasure, Book of Secrets,
yeah.
Muppets Most Wanted. The man has a pretty good 5-star average there.
Lots of Bo Burnhams and Eric Andre stuck onto the cast.
Yeah.
Well.
I'm sure that film is a hoot. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to the Journey episode of Boy Party. We hope you've enjoyed 48 minutes of waffling about a film you've never watched. We'll be back next week with a film that you'll hopefully have actually seen. Thank you for tuning in. You can follow the show on Instagram, Boy Party Pod, and Blue Sky, Boy Party Pod. You can go to our website, boypartypod.com. And you can subscribe to the show and leave a review. Thank you so much, Shane. Thank you to Colm and Timothy for their fabulous work. And thank you to the people who brought peace to Northern Ireland. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Get home safe.